right, well, we will go ahead and get started here. Just injury update for you. LaShawn McCoy is going to be day-to-day. Tywan Jones, no concussion. He's bruised, cut up a little bit there. Ray will continue to practice this week. Philip Gaines does have the dislocated elbow. There's still a chance he could play this week. We'll see how that goes. Taron Johnson continues to progress, and he'll remain day-to-day, as is Shaq Lawson with the hamstring. So with that, I'll open up to your questions.
Just to clarify, Tywan, you say no concussion?
No concussion.
Okay. Did he need stitches?
Yeah, there's some stitches in there.
Is that an issue with the health? Would that keep him from playing?
Yeah, we got to work through some of that early part of the week here, Tim. Yeah.
When you say LaShawn's day-to-day, there's been mixed reports out there that the ribs aren't broken, but there's some cartilage damage. Is that
Cracked rib cartilage, correct. Good things yesterday at times overall, and and obviously in the first half it wasn't good enough. So can't give up 28 points and expect to win or give yourself a chance to win. So overall, as a defense, I didn't think we played well enough in the first half. I thought in the second half I was very pleased with the effort, very pleased with the way the guys were flying around. They were executing and having fun out there, and that was fun to watch.
Sean, how do you balance taking the positives from that second half with the first 6 quarters of this season when it was, I think, outscored 75-9, and making that clear that type of result is unacceptable?
Yeah, you're right. That's a delicate balance between, making sure that we build upon what we saw and the positives from yesterday in the second half, and then that we continue to make progress. And that's part of that growth mindset, that we have to continue to improve upon what we're doing and build the rep count for some of our young guys as we have out there. So that's important as we move forward.
How do you reassure your players, maybe even yourself, that this team is not one in turmoil, given what happened at halftime yesterday with you taking over the play calling duties, Vontae Davis up and quitting, and just how poorly the team has played for 6 quarters up until the second half of this year?
Well, this is a process, number one. The Vontae situation, look, his actions have spoken. He's retired, so that's a separate issue, okay? And then in terms of the play calling part of it, we're going to do what we feel like we need to do to win games and improve. And we look in every corner to improve, whether it's play calling, whether it's fundamentals, technique. We all have to do our job better. This is, again, we've got some young players out there. We've got a young quarterback, a young middle linebacker that their best days, their best football is ahead of them. And they're going to continue to get better, continue to grow, continue to learn. Nobody said this was going to be easy. And that's what we're going through right now. And sometimes there's a lag in terms of the results, and we're going to continue to work at it. Like I said last week, nobody's going to work harder than we are at it. We just got to continue to grind on it here.
What has been your contact with Vontae today, and what is his status as far as the roster?
I've not been in touch with Vontae today.
And as far as the roster, he's still on the roster, no move yet, right?
Correct.
Have you been in touch with him at all since halftime yesterday?
No, like I said, his actions spoke loud and clear, and so I didn't feel a need to. I'm focused on my team right now.
Sean, it's such a emotional game. Do you think that part of the renewed enthusiasm and energy could have been actually maybe the guys being galvanized because of the Vontae situation and kind of banding together a little bit after all that happened?
Yeah, I mean, possibly that's probably a better question for them. But I just know that they're focused right now on continuing to improve. We had a good film session a few minutes ago, and the guys were into it and certainly accountable for what went on, which I appreciate. And we all need to be accountable. But there's growing pains going through this. And like I said, nobody said it was going to be easy. We got to continue to work and communicate and improve in all 3 phases of our game.
Guys said that they had never experienced a teammate leaving the game like that before. I'm assuming that's something that you at least addressed with them, and I'm curious as to what you said and how it was received.
Yeah, well, overall, I'm not going to get into what I said, but generally speaking, there's no need to address it because we're moving on. That's what a team does. This is not going to become a distraction for us. We're going to move forward, and like I said, his actions spoke, and I heard everything he needed to say through that. So, got a lot of respect for Vontae. He's a good person. Certainly appreciate the way he worked when he was in here, but we're moving forward as a football team.
Coach, Josh referenced yesterday after the game about maybe a couple of instances where he wasn't trusting what he saw, as the play unfolded. In your evaluation of the film, did you see some of those instances as well, and would you agree with that assessment?
I would agree. And when you look at a lot of our younger players, their eyes are all over the place, and that tends to happen when the game's moving fast, and that's natural for young players. Josh, and I would say the same with Tremaine, we've got to make sure our eyes are disciplined and that they are where they need to be at the proper time, because there's so much time involved in some of the concepts here on offense.
How does Vontae's departure affect what you're doing personnel-wise at cornerback, and what sort of discussions have there been about adding to that position?
Yeah, Brandon and I have talked about it. Nothing new at this point, but we're going to continue to talk about it, Mike.
Do you get to, maybe you come to this point already where Josh Allen's your starting quarterback for, is that permanent?
We're gonna go with Josh. I thought he did some good things. He's a young quarterback, and each game we expect him to get a little bit better and grow. So that's where we are as a football team. That's where we are as an organization right now.
The reason I asked is just so this isn't something that's going to be a week-to-week deal.
I don't plan on that being the case. Right.
What was your thought when you went back and looked at the punt return where Taiwan got hurt? Back judge actually he loses his helmet. The back judge actually brings the whistle towards his mouth and then pulled it back away right before Taiwan got hit. What's your review? Do you send something to the league? I mean, that's a play that really could have been disastrous. How do you handle that moving forward?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, it almost was a very unfortunate situation. It was unfortunate as it is, as it stands. I'm just glad and thankful that Taiwan's okay. That could have been very, very bad, and I would hope that would have been stopped. Player safety is number one, and it needs to be going forward. I know we talk about it a lot, but player safety needs to be number one moving forward.
What's your thought on the penalty on there? It's on the Chargers player, but my opinion. So I'm just saying this is my opinion. He had no chance to even stop. He probably doesn't even know that Taiwan Jones is missing his helmet, but he got flagged for a play because it looked pretty bad. But your thought on that being a penalty, or guys are just going until they hear a whistle?
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at it, I felt like it was a clean play because it was bang bang. Never want to see someone hit another person who has their helmet off, and to your point, the play should have been stopped. It was bang bang from a timing standpoint as well. We just hope everyone's doing the best they can to put player safety first in that situation.
Why did you, aside from the performance and the number of points the defense gave up, how necessary did you feel it was to take over the play calling duties, and how difficult might it have been for you knowing how close you and Leslie are?
Well, we're going to do whatever it takes to win, look, I've been around some coaches before where that's been the case, and sometimes you're able to get into a flow. Sometimes somebody else you feel like can get into a flow, and that was really where it came from. Was just, hey, I felt like I had a pretty good feel for what they were trying to do offensively, and I wanted to come out and take the series and see how it went, and I was able to get into a flow, and Leslie was helping me the whole time, so like I said before, whatever direction we go, we're going to work on it together, and I have a lot of confidence in Leslie Frazier in terms of a good defensive football coach.
Coach, it looked like the Chargers were really attacking Tremaine through the pass game a little bit. What can he do maybe to help himself out? What can you guys do as a defense? And as a young player, I mean, does that kind of not surprise you that they would do that, a middle linebacker, put him in that position right away?
That happens from time to time in this league, and I know he'll get better with reps and technique and the eye discipline that's so necessary in those situations. Again, those are he's a young player that's learning on the run, and much like Josh and some of the other players, Saran Neal out there, Robert Foster, so on and so forth. So, you look at the ball we had that rolled into the end zone on special teams. Should have never happened. Well, why did it happen, right? And so we got some young players out around the ball, maybe haven't been there in that situation. So we got to continue to teach the techniques, the awareness, and go from there.
Not a follow-up on that, Tremaine, if I could. 2 games now, he hasn't missed a snap. He's played 100% of the snaps according to the game book. Is he? What's that say about him and where he is already at 20 years old, being in that position and doing that for you?
Yeah, he's a young player. He battles. I mean, the guy's a warrior, and he plays hard. He plays every snap to the whistle, through the whistle, and he's gonna be fine. He just got to continue to grow and get the experience that he needs at this point.
Coach, I know you're big on vocal leadership in your locker room with some of your senior players. Is there what's the value when a guy like Lorenzo can not only be that for you in the locker room, but then back it up with a second half like he had yesterday?
Oh, he was in the zone. I mean, he was on fire. Loved his energy. Loved the defensive energy overall. And then to add to that, when you get a young player like Josh, who's the quarterback and young quarterback of your football team, coming over to the defense before they take the field, and I think it was mentioned in the press conference after the game, in fact, he's coming over and getting the defense fired up. That's when you see the team starting to come together, and guys pulling for guys, encouraging one another, loving on one another in that regard, and playing with great energy. It's good to see.
Star doesn't have a tackle through 2 weeks here. I know that statistics aren't always a fair judge of a player, and particularly with him, that's not what maybe his job always entails. But is that a problem for this defense so far?
No, it really isn't. When you look at the position he plays, it's the most, and you've heard me say this before, Jay. It's the most unselfish position on the football field. The defensive tackle position, in particular the one technique, which is typically where he plays. So a lot of the time he frees up. The way the game works is he frees up the linebackers to make plays by absorbing and taking on double teams and whatnot. So I thought our run defense inside, which is where Star works, was mostly solid yesterday. Outside, we could have done some things better, but inside, I think for the most part he played a solid game.
Sean, how would you assess the performance of the offensive line now here through 2 weeks of the season?
I think we've done some things, some good things and some things that we've got to do better in terms of running the football. We need to create movement up front. There's been too many penalties overall, and the guys are aware of that. We've communicated about that, and we addressed that. I thought, the pass blocking end of things, there's been times where we've had enough time to throw the ball, and we got to be more decisive. So it's got to work together from a timing standpoint, both in the run and the pass game.
Do you expect to run the same 5 out there next week?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Still too early right now coming off the game.
Let's take 2 more, please.
With LaShawn, is it a pain tolerance issue in terms of whether he might be able to play next week?
Pretty much. We'll just take it one day at a time, Jay, and make sure he's comfortable as we go forward, and we'll go from there. I know he's a guy that's been through some injuries before and played at a high level. But we'll just take it one day at a time right now.
Sean, in regards to Vontae, what are the emotions like kind of in a moment like that? I mean, some guys in the room were pretty upset, but is there any element of concern over him and his well-being, just given how unusual it is for a guy to leave that happen?
Yeah, like I said before, and this is where you develop some personal relationships with these young men, and you always want the best for them. Like I said before, it's not a deal where we wish him anything but the best. In terms of that, we wish him best, and he's had a heck of a career. So, what's important for us is what we have to focus on right now, Matt, and that's for us moving forward as a football team, and that's what we plan on doing.
Sean, what was your reasoning behind taking Matt Milano out on some defensive series and putting Ramon Humber at the line, because Milano was basically 100% in the first week?
Yeah, just looking at some things, and again, a young player, sometimes it benefits a young player being able to watch a series or two and get next to his coach on the sideline and learn a little bit of watching how they're attacking us offensively. And so just being able to do that is important. And then we also have a lot of confidence in Ramon Humber as well. So, thanks, guys.